North Carolina.
Sorry, technical. Essential business ordered to tighten social distancing measured.
Marla Simbulan in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
Health Secretary of Pennsylvania signs order providing worker safety measures to combat COVID-19.
Rio Modiquillo in Austin, Texas.
Austin, the capital of Texas, extends coronavirus face covering mandate to May 8th, possibly beyond.
In Seattle, Washington, we have Frendel Fejeran.
Washington governor issues protection for high-risk workers.
Sergio Reyes in Oxnard, California.
Los Angeles leads in COVID-19 cases statewide.
Plus, a conversation with the Philippine Embassy's labor attaché in the United States, Angela Lebrado Trinidad, about the Department of Labor and Employment WDC cash assistance for displaced OFWs due to COVID-19. With Welfare Officer Josephine Tobaya, who will share with us information about the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration's financial assistance to OFWs who have tested positive for COVID-19. And today, we get to meet a young gymnast in Sunnyvale, California, sharing with us how she works around the shelter-in-place order. But first, an overview of how the world looks now. According to the Coronavirus Resource Center of Johns Hopkins University and Medicine, as of 5 p.m. Eastern Time, April 15, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide tops 2 million. This includes more than 600,000 in the United States and more than 28,000 in Canada. Sadly, this virus has claimed more than 133,000 lives worldwide. And this number includes more than 27,000 deaths in the United States and tops 1,000 in Canada. Tonight, we are joined by two of our EBC friends here in Washington, D.C. We have with us Labor Attaché Angela Lebrado Trinidad of the Philippine Embassy in D.C. and Josephine Tobaya, Welfare Officer of the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration here in the United States. Labor Attaché Angela, the Philippine Embassy has recently announced the WDC initiative in an effort to help displaced OFWs, both sea-based and land-based, due to COVID-19. Please explain to us further what the initiative is all about.
Salamat, no? Magandang gabi sa lahat or magandang umaga or magandang hapon sa lahat ng nanonood, sa ating mga kabaro at kabayan. Itong sinasabi nating WDC guidelines, no? This is an initiative of the Department of Labor and Employment based on the recently passed law, na yung HEAL as One Act, and it is the Department of Labor and Employment's contribution with respect to our overseas Filipino workers. Itong AKAP, ang ibig sabihin po nito, abot kamay ang pagtulong ng OFWs. This is specifically catering to all our OFWs who are displaced by reason of COVID-19.
Okay, Ms. Angela, who are eligible to apply para po sa assistance na ito?
Maraming salamat sa tanong. No? Una, ang coverage po nito, dalawang klase ng ating workers. No? Una, yung documented workers, na sinasabi natin, ito yung dumaan sa regular na proseso galing sa POEA at lumabas sa bansa, kung magtrabaho sa ibang bansa. At yung pangalawa, ito yung tinatawag nating undocumented qualified worker. So yung documented worker, I think we all know what it is, pero gusto nating ipaliwanag kung ano itong qualified undocumented worker. Ito yung una na dati-dating documented pero by reason independent of the worker naging nawala ng status, no?
Okay.
Pangalawa, ito yung mga workers na hindi na proseso sa POEA, hindi na proseso sa POLO, pero pagdating sa ibang bansa, merong legitimate status, no? May work permit, may permit to stay in that country at nagtatrabaho. Pangatlo, itong Hindi siya na-proseso sa POEA, hindi naman na-proseso ng POLO, pero active OWWA member. So pag nandun po kayo sa coverage na ito, pwede po kayong mag-apply, no? At maging eligible. Pero hindi po ibig sabihin na kung dalawang klase kayo ng worker, automatic mabibigyan po tayo kasi may prioridad po itong programang to. Una po, displaced po yung worker by reason of COVID, no? So pangalawa, either nasa job site, nasa ibang bansa, or balik manggagawa, nasa Pilipinas, pero hindi nakalabas ulit dahil sa COVID. At pangatlo, yung recently repatriated.
Thank you for...
Pangatlo, sige po.
Go ahead.
So pangatlo, yun yung hindi nakatanggap, no, ng ayuda sa kanyang employer or sa host country o kung saan siya nagtatrabaho. So ito yung mga ito yung mga eligibility, no? Yung sinasabi natin pwedeng mag-apply at makapag-avail ng $200 financial assistance, one-time financial assistance, or its equivalent.
Okay, Ms. Angela, now that we have identified the eligibility or who are eligible to apply, what are the guidelines or the requirements that they have to fulfill?
Okay, so yung sinasabi po nating requirements para po mag-apply, una, meron po tayo, kunyari po sa POLO, sa US, no? Meron po tayong pinublish sa ating POLO Washington DC FB account, FB page, at sa embassy po, yun yung ating Google form na you can fill out online. At nandun po lahat ng information na gusto naming malaman. At pangalawa po, mag-submit tayo ng mga documents, no, na i-email natin sa POLO. At ito po yung passport natin, kontrata na valid, pangatlo valid na work permit, at ipakita din natin kung na-displace tayo, meron bang sulat ang ating employer o merong notice, at kung may natanggap ba o wala, yun po isa ring basehan, no, para mabigay itong financial assistance ng DOLE ACAP.
Okay. Ms. Angela, you mentioned earlier that anyone, as long as you fall under the category of an OFW, anywhere across the globe, it applies to you as long as you've been displaced because of the crisis. Are the requirements the same also anywhere you are?
Yes, kasi itong guidelines na ito, they were released by the Department of Labor and Employment. No? May guidelines po ito, at it would apply to all the polos all over the world.
Okay, so let's say those who want to apply have already gathered their requirements. How do they send it po?
So, meron tayong email address kung saan nakalaan talaga yung ating kung saan natin i-email. Nandun po sa FB account natin at sa FB page. Nandun po ang ating guidelines. So, nakapublish po ito at pwede po nating mag-click anytime.
Okay, so how long will it take for processing to take? Kung let's say they got approved, how long will they have to wait to receive the assistance?
So, based on the guidelines, we have 5 to 10 working days. No? 5 to 10 days to decide on the application. So, that would include getting all the documents. Tatanungin natin kung meron pang gusto nating hingiin na mga proof or prueba. Sa panahon na yun, doon natin hihingiin at ibibigay ang ating sagot sa OFW na nag-apply kung approve ba or denied yung ating application. Kasi pwede rin pong ma-deny yung application.
Okay, so meron po tayong tanong dito, Ms. Angela. No? Paano raw po sa South Korea, ito yung galing kay Adam Malik, paano po sa South Korea na OFW para maipadala ito sa Pilipinas? Tama po ba?
Oo.
Yeah, let's say, siguro ang ibig niyang sabihin, nag-apply siya, he got approved, how do they send it to the Philippines?
So, sandali po, yung tanong po ba paano ipapadala sa Pilipinas yung assistance niya na natanggap niya?
Siguro, yeah, it's not very clear, but maybe he's asking, pwede bang ang tatanggap ng assistance niya account sa Pilipinas? Maybe so it goes straight to his family. Maybe it's Sabihin.
Ang tingin, nakalagay po na pwedeng sa dependent no ipadala as long as yung
Okay.
OFW na on-site ang mag-a-apply po. So, linawin natin na itong financial assistance is actually meant to benefit immediately our OFWs no na display. So, at immediate ito na financial assistance na dapat ibigay.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for clearing that up po. Aside from Dole Akap, Labor Attaché, how else does the embassy here in the U.S. reach out to our OFWs in this time of a global crisis? Meron po bang proseso para mag-reach out tayo sa ating mga OFWs?
Yes po, no, yung ating consular office at ang buong embassy no ay kahit hindi naman nasa opisina 24 hours nagmo-monitor at sumasagot sa lahat ng emails ng lahat ng nangangailangan po no. So kung lahat yung mga Pilipino natin na nasa Estados Unidos, kung meron po kayong kailangan or may mga tanong, open po yung ating embahada at ang consular office. In fact, doon sa ating Facebook, no, ito yung pinaka widely used and largely used na social media. Meron ding account ng ating congen, no, ng ating Consul General na pwede rin pong tumanggap ng mga tanong at mga request po. So, lahat po tinatanggap natin yung request at syempre ang pagsagot, titingnan po natin kung saan at sinong opisina po ang may primary na responsibility nito.
Last question po para sa inyo, Labor Attaché. Nabanggit niyo po na dinadirect natin yung mga concerns nila kung anong opisina ang maaaring makasagot nito. Meron po bang opisina sa ating embahada na who keeps tabs of mga OFWs po natin na apektado ng krisis na ito o ng pandemya?
Kung OFW po ang primary na opisina, yung ating opisina, yung Philippine Overseas Labor Office, kasama din dito yung Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, linawin po natin na yung OFW na sinasabi natin, yun yung contract-based na worker at nagtatrabaho sa United States no for a definite period of time no. Maaring pabalik-balik pero hindi po sila yung residente sa yung US no. So pero hindi po ibig sabihin na kung residente hindi rin po tatanggapin natin at ng Philippine Embassy kasi sa Philippine Embassy po nandiyan din ang ating assistance to nationals na nagbibigay din ng assistance no sa kung within our mandate no kung ano ang assistance na mabibigay natin.
Salamat po. Thank you for your time, Labor Attaché Angela Lebrado Trinidad. Yung Dole ACA po, as it was explained to us, it is a financial assistance for displaced OFWs due to COVID-19. Now, working hand in hand with the Philippine Embassy and Dole and the Polo is the Overseas Workers Welfare Association, better known as OWWA. With us tonight po is our welfare officer, Josephine Tobaya, who will explain to us this the OWWA financial assistance for those OFWs who tested positive for COVID-19. Thank you for joining us, welfare officer Josephine.
Yes, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning again. Thank you for inviting us. This financial assistance for OFW members are for those OFWs who were infected by the COVID-19. And this particular financial assistance is for their aftercare needs and other medical requirements with regards to their COVID, no? And OWWA members, active or inactive, are the ones who can avail of this program.
So it's a requirement that they are OWWA members.
Yes, this is this is for active and inactive OWWA members.
Okay, so welfare officer Josephine, let's say an OFW tested positive for COVID-19. Who can apply for him or her? Let's say he's not able because of the situation. Can a family member apply for the patient?
Okay. Yes, a family member can apply for the worker. However, if the worker is still in the post, let's say in America, we will have to wait until the worker is sent home, because this will require a medical certificate from the hospital. No? So even if the relative would apply for the medical for the financial assistance regarding this COVID, this will require some documents from the worker himself or herself. Yes.
As specified po, it's for aftercare, correct?
Yes, it's for aftercare.
Okay.
In
So
fact,
what-
yung mga ibang nakauwi na workers natin na hindi natin nabigyan, we have endorsed them to the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration para ma-process yung kanilang financial assistance for this.
Okay. What are the guidelines and the requirements if one wants
The requirements, the requirements is that they should be OWWA members, whether active or inactive, and they should the basic, no, they should produce their copies of their passport and a medical certificate and work permit. Kasi we have a database naman sa OWWA, so we would know kung sino yung OWWA members right away.
Okay. So let's say po na-approve yung kanilang application. Sa DOLE-ACA po, ang amount na ibibigay ay 200 per approved applicant. How much naman po yung sa OWWA assistance for aftercare?
$200 din.
Pareho
It's
din. And one
the same
time
amount.
also.
One time din. Oh.
One time. Okay.
Although
Now, if it's-
although OWWA has other programs extended to its members, even after this program, this particular program, they can still avail of other programs.
There's a question here po. If a displaced OFW who avails of the DOLE-ACA assistance also tested positive for COVID-19, will he or she be eligible also to apply for the OWWA assistance? Let's say, are these two separate assistance that could be applied to? Let's say they fall in both categories and are eligible.
Yeah, what I know is that they will only have to receive the financial assistance from OWWA, the aftercare. Yeah.
Okay.
Financial assistance.
Ms. Josephine, how long does processing take if one applies? How long will it take?
Yeah, the process cycle would be the same as the one of ACAP, no? That's 7 to 10 days.
Okay. And then let's say approved na how do they receive the $200 assistance?
Okay. Kasi if they apply through the OWWA regional offices, no? Kasi this financial assistance naman can be actually given to them when they are sent home, no? And this will be processed by the regional office in Manila, in the Philippines, I should say. So we have 17 regions there. That depends kung saan nila kokolektahin yan. But the regional office will issue them a check for this medical assistance or financial assistance for the medical needs.
Okay. Ms. Josephine, there's a question here from Brian Bautista in Riyadh. Sabi niya, what if a dependent of an OFW gets infected? Can the OFW file for assistance as well for a dependent?
Ang programa pong ito ay para sa mga OFWs lamang. So, hindi po natin sakop yung family ng ating OFW. Although, sabi nga natin sa OWWA, may mga programa na available sa OFWs and their families. So, they can check it out with the website ng OWWA, owwa.gov.ph. Nandun po yung mga programa for the OFWs and their families.
Okay, thank you po. Salamat po for clarifying that. And also, well, thank you for joining us. Welfare Officer Josephine Tubaya. But before you go, may question po para kay Labor Attaché Angela. Sabi nito, mga ilang OFWs daw po ang inaasahan yung akapin. Sa sitwasyong ito.
Actually po, ang buong programa, merong 1.5 billion under the camp, no? Yung programang nasa DOLE. At ihati-hati din ito sa lahat ng mga polos na, yung mga OFWs na may polos, no? So, kung dito sa US, in-encourage natin sila na isumite na yung kanilang mga applications kasi hindi naman ang ating admission and approval is also dependent and subject to the availability of funds. So, gusto po nating akapin po ang lahat ng ating OFW kasi alam naman natin na isa tayo, itong OFW, isa ito sa mga sektor na naghihirap ngayon, lalo na nasa ibang bansa sila. Pero dahil po may limitation din yung ating funds, yun po, no, ang isang unfortunate na factor sa ating assistance. So, as much as possible, we encourage and we ask all our OFWs in the US to immediately submit and comply with all the requirements as early as possible para ma-actionan po rin natin.
Thank you, Labor Attaché Angela. Any more parting words before we let you go?
Salamat po sa opportunity na ito at sa lahat ng makababayan na ating mga OFW. Saludo po kami sa inyong walang sawang pagsuporta, no, sa mga programa ng pamahalaan, lalong-lalo na ng DOLE. At alam namin na hindi to ang pinaka gusto ninyong sitwasyon ngayon, pero laban lang po tayo lahat at nandito po ang POLO, DOLE at ang Philippine government na makiisa at tutulong po kami sa aming abot na makakaya at base sa aming mandato po. So magtulungan po tayo at dito po sa DOLE AKAP na programa, we expect that you comply with all the requirements the soonest para po ma-actionan kaagad natin. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat po sa pagpapaunlak sa amin, Labor Attaché Angela. At sa ating welfare officer po, Josephine Tubaya, any parting words po?
Mag-ingat na lang po lahat ng ating mga kababayan. Keep safe, stay home para ma-flatten natin ang curve at lahat tayo makalabas na eventually. Maraming salamat sa invitation niyo sa amin.
Thank you very much also, Welfare Officer Josephine. Up next, live updates from our correspondents across North America. And we get to meet a young gymnast in Sunnyvale, California, who will share with us how she makes the most of the shelter-at-home order. Stay with us. This is Eagle News.
This program is co-presented by Kubert Industries Incorporated, Electromechanical Trading and Services, The Cooling Expert, Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee, Masarap, Mabango at Healthy pa. Cadred Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, color for protection for your home. Matimco. Matimco is wood. Wood is Matimco. Our Square Variables Incorporated, your trusted UPS supplier and UPS maintenance provider in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. CompuZell Computer Services, ID card and lanyard manufacturer. DN Steel. EMAC, UPVC Roof Corporation.
You are watching the EDC International coverage of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, North America edition. I am Eliza Gonzalez in Manlatmont in Washington, D.C. Now we check in with our correspondents across North America. It will be weeks before Canada reopens its economy. Thomas Leknes in Edmonton with the details.
Good evening, Eliza. Hope all is well with you and Dex in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Okay, before I get into my headline, though, in light of your interviews in the previous segment of the program, I want to tell you how Canada has looked out for our foreign workers here. Now, all of them, no matter what country they come from, Philippines as well, they're eligible for the emergency benefit, and that gives them $2,000 a month for up to 4 months if they've lost their employment because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, they still receive the same medical benefits as all Canadians. So we take care of our workers here, not only the ones in Canada, but our visiting workers as well. Now, let's get on to the top item out of the nation's capital today. When are things going to get back to normal? I don't know. Maybe never. We don't know what the next normal is going to be. Up here, we listened to your president talk about how he wants to reopen the U.S. economy as soon as possible. We hear it maybe in May now. And I know there's all kinds of people pressuring him not to, but he keeps saying we got to get the economy going. Our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, says, no, I'm going to be a little more cautious. He's just not prepared to move as fast up here.
Across Canada, restaurants have been forced.
But with spring coming, people are looking outside, wanting to get out, wanting this to be over. I understand that. It will be weeks more before we can seriously consider loosening the restrictions. It would be terrible if we were to release restrictions too early and find out that we're suddenly back in another big wave of COVID-19 and everything we've gone through up to now would have been for nothing, because we'll find ourselves once again in the same situation.
And that's exactly what we want to avoid, is that second wave, because if that hits, we've got to go through this again, and that's going to be even more damaging to the economy. On another issue, the funding of the World Health Organization. Trudeau was asked about Canada's contribution to the WHO, and he was also asked whether President Trump has asked Canada to join the U.S. in withdrawing support for the agency.
Canada's support for the World Health Organization is in the tens of millions of dollars. I think we've increased it recently, but I can make sure that someone has the exact numbers for you or for the media. No, the President hasn't made any direct asks or indirect asks of Canada around that.
Okay, here are the numbers for Canada. The country has more than 28,000 coronavirus cases, resulting in just over 1,000 deaths. Of the reported cases, more than 8,600 people have recovered. So that's the good news side of it. Now, in my province, we had 126 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. We're just under the 2,000 mark at 1,996, and thankfully, no deaths reported in the last day. Well, have you had dinner yet? Watch this.
Across Canada, restaurants have been forced to close.
It was the right decision.
Without customers, our restaurants will be forced to shut down for good.
We are part of the community and want to fight for the preservations of our neighborhoods.
There's really no revenue source at all except takeout.
1.5 million jobs are at risk in this vibrant and unique industry.
This affects our farmers.
Okay, that's a promo for Takeout Wednesday. As you heard, the Canadian restaurant industry has been decimated by the pandemic. Not only have hundreds of thousands of workers have lost their jobs, 800,000, I'm told, are out of work, but many eateries have gone broke. They won't be reopening their doors, meaning when this is all over, those workers have no job to go back to. So many restaurant workers and owners are part of Canada's Philippine community here. Some are on temporary visas, but thousands, most of them, are now permanent residents in Canada. Restaurants Canada is an industry advocacy group. That organization figures about 18% of eating establishments will permanently close if things don't improve in a month. So they want to keep the food industry going. They have launched Takeout Wednesday. It began today and will be every Wednesday. As a kickoff, the group hosted on social media Canada's Great Kitchen Party, the Home Edition. It was a virtual concert featuring a number of top Canadian entertainers, some celebrated athletes. People were encouraged to take in this event to watch it while enjoying, yes, a takeout meal. So when the pandemic ends, hopefully there'll be jobs for people in the food industry to go back to. Hopefully they'll all survive this. Now, before I order something in, I want to wish you all good health. Take care of others, take care of yourselves, stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned to Eagle News for accurate and balanced coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thank you, Tom. Now, I have a few questions.
Sure.
Going back on your report earlier, when you say foreign workers, what industry are most of them in?
Most of them are in the hospitality industry, including food service, so they've been hard hit. Hotel workers, people in food services, cooks, things like that. A number of them are also cleaners. Some of those people would be considered essential, so they'd be able to maintain their employment. But again, people who are working for cleaning companies and office buildings, their services not so much required, they'd be laid off. So they're eligible for that emergency benefit. And it's really easy to apply for. They do it online and within days. I can't believe the government can work that fast. You know how slow government normally is. This time around, they did it right. Within days, the money is in the bank.
Well, that's good to know. And you say it is Takeout Wednesday today. What are you ordering?
Yes, it is. All right, I've narrowed it down to two things. It's either going to be pizza from a place named after a board game, or maybe some, I'm thinking maybe manok from a place that's run by a jovial pollinating insect.
Okay, decisions. Thank you for joining us tonight, Tom.
Okay, thank you very much, Alonza.
Governor Roy Cooper of North Carolina orders essential businesses to tighten social distancing measures. Bernadette Reguini in Goldsboro reports.
Thank you, Eliza. We are now in week 3 of staying home, and the number of positive COVID-19 cases steadily rise. As of today, the numbers have topped over 5,000 and is currently at 5,123 laboratory-confirmed cases. And of that number, 431 patients are currently hospitalized, and in over 93 counties, there are 117 COVID-19 related deaths. Today, however, since the first day COVID-19 entered and made its presence in the state of North Carolina, the reported new cases this morning was fewer than 100, which is a sign of hope that the spread has slowed down. The most recent executive order by Governor Roy Cooper applies to essential businesses who continue to operate during this pandemic. Current essential businesses are ordered to tighten social distancing measures. Now, this includes limiting the number of people in their stores to 5 people per 1,000 square feet of retail space, or 20% of the occupancy limit. In addition, essential businesses are to mark off 6 feet distances at checkout lines. And lastly, they require specific cleaning measures. Yesterday, a protest was held in front of the Capitol where small business owners want the governor to lift the orders. Governor Roy Cooper recently talked with other governors around the nation to find out what they are doing, considering, and it's evident, that the virus does not discriminate state lines. Executive orders in North Carolina will expire at the end of the month, and at that time, Governor Cooper will consider options of whether to ease the restrictions, but it all depends on the scientific trends with COVID-19 in the state. Governor Cooper commented that for as long as there's no vaccination, officials may continue to enforce the 6-foot distance in public places until 2022. Stay-at-home orders and distance learning could potentially extend into the next 2 years as well. In Goldsboro, North Carolina, Bernadette Reguini, we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Bernadette. Bernadette, as a resident of North Carolina, and you've been there quite a while, and knowing also that the virus does not respect state lines, how do you feel about extending the social distancing measures in your state to, like you said, maybe till 2022?
Well, personally, I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, I feel bad for a lot of the businesses considering this is affecting them, but for health reasons, I would not be opposed to it. You know, we want to be sure that we're all well protected and flatten that curve.
Well, thank you, Bernadette, and stay safe out there.
Thank you, you as well.
Health Secretary of Pennsylvania signs an order providing worker safety measures to combat COVID-19. Eagle News correspondent Myla Simbulan in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, with the details.
Hi, Eliza, and hello to all those who are watching. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf announced today that Health Secretary Rachel Levine signed the order providing worker safety measures to protect the public from the spread of infectious disease. According to Wolf, this order provides critical protections for the workers needed to run and operate these life-sustaining establishments. Many of the businesses in Pennsylvania already begun implementing some of the protocols, and the governor applauded all their efforts in order to protect the employees and customers. The order included protocols to maintain social distance, such as providing masks for employees that should be worn at the time of business, making it a mandatory requirement, staggered work schedules to prevent gatherings of large group, meetings and trainings should be conducted virtually, and if there is a need for in-person meetings, limited to not more than 10. Non-essential visitors should not be allowed to enter the premises. And if someone is found to be infected or exposed to the virus, the following protocols should be followed as well. Temperature screenings before entering the business premises, cleaning and disinfecting all of spaces, especially common areas. And if the business serves the public within a building or a defined area, deny entry to customers not wearing masks while on premises. Masks are now mandatory. Installation of shields and barriers at registers or checkout areas. These are just some of the protocols stated on the order, and failure to comply would result in either citations, fines, or license suspensions. The order will be enforced beginning April 19, 2020 at 8 p.m. Let us now look at the city of Philadelphia, the hardest hit here in Pennsylvania, with more than 7,000 number of cases. The mayor of Philadelphia sent a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi requesting the U.S. government to provide resources needed to help the city manage the ongoing effect of COVID-19 pandemic. The letter to Pelosi requests help in the areas of housing, personal protective equipment or PPE and supplies, small business relief, education, fair election support, and pension relief. Another news from Philadelphia, in order to fight hunger and to provide food to those who are in need, the kids, elderly, and frontline heroes, co-owner of Philadelphia Sixers, a Fanatic CEO, Michael Rubin, a local of Philadelphia, started the All-In Challenge program. It all started with Rubin's challenge to all athletes, celebrities, entertainers, and sports owners to go all in. So what's all in? According to Rubin, all in means donating your most prized possession or creating a once-in-a-lifetime fan experience that money can't buy. Some of these items will be auctioned, and for some, you will have a chance to win by donating $10 to $25. Rubin started his challenge with an all-in of $100,000 Fanatics gift card. Then started challenging McMill, Kevin Hart, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Magic Johnson, Alex Rodriguez, and TikTok stars Charlie and Dixie. And the rest is history. To date, All-In Challenge raised more than $5 million. 100% of the money raised through this will go directly to Feeding America, Meals on Wheels, World's Central Kitchen, and No Kid Hungry. This pandemic is not only about getting sick or infected. Due to complete shutdown and closed businesses, massive job losses, will turn to misery of the poor and rise in food security. Kindness of people during these trying times is truly an inspiration to all of us. In Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, Myla Simbulan, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Myla. Truly an inspiring initiative. Myla, local governments across the nation, like in your city, are stepping up protection measures for frontline essential workers. There is a campaign now called My Mask Protects You, Your Mask Protects Me. How is your city responding to this, considering Philadelphia, as you said, stopping the cases of COVID-19 in the state?
Actually, Eliza, last week, the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, what we call SEPTA here, that operates bus, trolley buses, and rapid train, urged all passengers to wear face covering. That was last week. There are also some stations that provides free face masks in order to contain the spread of COVID-19. And today, the Health Secretary of Pennsylvania provided measures which includes wearing masks if you are an employee and if there is a need to go to the place of business. And if you're a customer, wearing masks is also mandatory, or you will be denied entry except to those individuals who cannot wear a mask due to medical conditions or children age of 2 years, they may enter the premises. And these rules will be enforced starting, I think, April 19 of this year. I haven't been out shopping for almost 2 weeks now, but when we walk around the neighborhood, we see a couple already wearing masks. So hopefully in the next couple of days, especially after April 19, more people will wear masks.
Thank you for the update, Myla. Local groceries here also, they provide gloves to customers. Once you enter, there's a station there where you get disposable gloves to use when you go shop for food. Meanwhile, health officials say Austin, the capital of Texas, implements coronavirus face covering mandate extension to May 8, possibly beyond. Rio Mondecillo reports.
Thank you, Eliza. Howdy from the Lone Star States. Here in Austin, the capital of Texas, bandanas are not only a fashion accessory to match your cowboy attire, but also part of the law. On Tuesday, Mayor Steve Adler announced that face coverings such as bandanas, t-shirts, or any fabric that can protect the nose and mouth are now mandatory, required for anyone in public places except if traveling alone by car or with household members, or if doing solitary exercise, to ensure that if individuals have COVID-19 and don't know it, they would be less likely to spread it. This new order will carry the force of law, and violators can be ticketed for not wearing a mask. He added that because there is not enough manpower to enforce this, he recommends residents and communities to self-police. This new mandate adds fabric stores to the list of essential businesses to help people make their own face masks. The face covering mandate, along with the shelter-at-home policy for Austin and Travis County, have been extended to May 8th, 1 week later than the April 30th date mentioned by President Trump and Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Celebrity actor and longtime Texas resident Matthew McConaughey posted a public service announcement video on his Twitter about how to make a homemade mask with a quote, "We got more living to do." In Austin, Texas, I'm Rio Mondecillo, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Don't you agree, Rio? Yes, we do have a lot of living to do. Rio, with the mandate in place, do you observe that people in Austin have been following the face covering policy?
Yes, so I actually went to the grocery store today and witnessed that the majority of people are wearing their mask. But yesterday, my brother went to the grocery store and he actually saw a lady who was denied entry into the store because she was not wearing her mask. So it's good to see that now people are listening and they're following the new mandate to ensure everyone's safety.
Thank you. My mask protects you. Your mask protects me. Thank you, Rita.
Thank you.
Governor Inslee issues a proclamation today protecting high-risk workers in Washington State. Kendall Ferreira in Seattle with a report.
Hi, Eliza. Hope you're doing well. Hello, everyone.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, great news. Governor Inslee did sign a proclamation to protect high-risk workers. And so what that means is that their employment is not jeopardized and they don't have to worry about a potential loss of income. So the kind of alternatives and the way to protect these high-risk workers are as follows. The choice of an alternative work assignment, including telework, alternative or remote work locations, if feasible, and social distance measures. The ability to use any accrued leave or unemployment benefits is also an alternative if other work assignments are not feasible. Employers also must maintain to pay health insurance to have health insurance benefits for high-risk employees when they're not at work. Employers are also prohibited from permanently replacing high-risk employees. I would like to say a quote from Governor Inslee himself. He says, "I remain very concerned about at high-risk populations, older adults and people with underlying health conditions. This proclamation ensures vulnerable high-risk workers don't have to endanger themselves for fear of losing their jobs or a paycheck." Now you might ask, am I at high risk? Is my auntie, my parents, my friends are at high risk? Well, these are the guidelines from the CDC of those that are considered high risk. So these are people 65 years or older, people who live in nursing home or long-term care facility, people of all ages with underlying medical conditions, particularly if not well controlled, people with chronic lung disease or moderate to severe asthma, people who have serious heart conditions, people who are immunocompromised. Many conditions can cause a person including to be immunocompromised, including cancer treatment, smoking, bone marrow or organ transplantation, immune deficiencies, poorly controlled HIV and AIDS, and prolonged use of corticosteroids and other immune weakening medications. People who are obese, people with diabetes, people with chronic kidney disease undergoing dialysis, and people with liver disease. So if you find yourself in this category, or if any of your coworkers or friends, make sure that they talk with their employer here in Washington State and make sure that they ask the right questions and be able to work in a condition that will keep them safe. Now, Governor Inslee also signed a few other proclamations. For example, the orders impact nursing home transfers and discharge waivers, provide flexibility for protection orders, and remove restrictions from pay and leave procedures for state employees. So what does this mean? So nursing home transfers and discharges. So this is authorizing nursing homes to transfer or discharge residents to other care facilities so that they can care for those in a similar condition all in one place, in hopes that this will slow the spread of COVID-19. Protection orders and personal service. So the proclamation provides flexibility and relief to courts by removing certain statutory hearing deadlines and moving forward to annual leave and pay procedures for state employees. So because of the stay-at-home mandate, Governor Inslee is allowing employers to mail their paychecks instead of them going to the office. And they are allowing for shared leave for employees who have not been exposed to COVID-19 but cannot telework and cannot come into the office due to the mandate of staying at home. And also, he is waiving the requirement that an employee cannot carry 240 hours of accrued vacation time on their anniversary date. So that means that all the hours that they've accrued, they can carry it over, because obviously they can't work, they can't go anywhere, so why should they lose it, right? So they're keeping that all for the employees. And another great news, social distancing here in Washington State has been working tremendously. Though the numbers have increased, it's subtly increasing, so it is flattening the curve. And that We are very grateful for. The statistics right now, the numbers have grown to 10,788 positive cases and deaths to 567. Our hearts are crying and they go out to the families of those who have lost a loved ones. But we're all in this together and we're doing our best to do our part to help protect our community. From Seattle, Washington, I'm Frenzel Faharin, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thank you very much, Frendel. It's good to know that the state of Washington is looking after their residents who are vulnerable, or are more vulnerable to the disease. Well, Frendel, in some states, there are protests going on against the possible extension of the stay-at-home mandates and the social distancing orders. As a private citizen, what do you think about prolonging these measures?
Well, as a private citizen, I do feel it's necessary for the safety of our community. I could definitely see and understand the pros, but all the more, though I could see and understand the cons, but more so the pros to these stay home social distancing measures.
Thank you, Frendel, for the update. Los Angeles County leads in the number of positive COVID-19 cases statewide. Sergio Reyes in Oxnard, California, with a story.
Thank you, Eliza. Today, California Department of Public Health updates the novel coronavirus stats to 23,338 positive cases and 758 deaths. Los Angeles County is still the leader in positive cases throughout all of California, carrying almost half of the positive cases and more than half of the deaths in California. As of today, per LA Public Health Office, there are a total of 10,946 positive cases of COVID-19 all across LA County, and a total of 402 deaths. 85% of these deaths are due to underlying health conditions. With this in mind, everyone should strictly follow the stay-at-home order that is in place. Public Health reminds everyone, if you are ill, even with mild symptoms, to self-isolate at home for 7 days and until you are fever and symptom-free for 72 hours. Also, if you have been in contact with anyone that is positive with the coronavirus, it is highly encouraged to self-quarantine yourself for 14 days. If you do leave your home, it is mandatory to wear a safety mask at all times in public areas to ensure your safety for yourself and those around you. As always, the best way to battle the novel coronavirus is to diligently practice washing your hands frequently, avoid touching your face, and practice social distancing. Here in the county of Ventura, the total number of cases slowly continue to rise. We have 365 positive cases and 13 deaths. The top 5 cities with positive cases are Ventura with 39, Camarillo also with 39, Thousand Oaks with 52, Oxnard with 73, and on top with the most positive cases is Simi Valley with 92. Ventura County has also enhanced their stay well at home order to save lives and stop the spread of COVID-19 in our county. This includes protecting our seniors in long-term care facilities, further limitations on gatherings, adding to the list of essential businesses, enacting and implementing social distancing protocols. I quote Dr. Robert Levin, Public Health Officer in the County of Ventura. We must protect the most vulnerable, especially confined together in long-term care facilities. We cannot underestimate COVID-19, a virus that has no boundaries, infects people of all ages, and can cause significant illness and death, particularly among people who are elderly or who have underlying serious health conditions. The Stay Well at Home order has been updated further to help save lives and protect our community. The intent of this order is to ensure the maximum number of people stay in their place of residence to the maximum feasible to slow the spread of COVID-19 and to mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the delivery of critical healthcare services. On a positive note, In a recent press conference, the community has been helping each other in many ways to battle on the ongoing crisis. One of these contributors here in our county is Food Share of the County of Ventura. I quote Monica White, the president and CEO of Food Share. We are seeing an unprecedented rise in the demand for food as the number of people facing food insecurity continues to rise. This, coupled with the closure of nearly a quarter of our 100-plus food pantry partners, has forced our hunger relief organizations to ramp up operations to meet the escalating need. To augment our incredible pantry, to augment our food distributions in the past 2 weeks, we have done these drive-through food distributions in 16 different areas, and we have served over 20,000 individuals. These distributions will continue in areas of greatest need throughout Ventura County for as long as possible. Just like Food Share and the volunteers for Food Share, it is in these times that we need to do our best to help each other out, even if it is simply staying at home. In Oxnard, California, Sergio Reyes, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Sergio. We have one question for you. When this stay-at-home order lifts and you're once again allowed to go outside for non-essential activities, what would be the first thing you'd do?
Well, I just got married in January, and I haven't really taken my wife out, so we're going to go on a very nice date.
You should. Thank you, Sergio.
Thank you, Alex.
Coming up, ready to meet a young gymnast from Sunnyvale, California? I am. Stay tuned. This is Eagle News.
This program is co-presented by Kubert Industries Incorporated, Electromechanical Trading and Services, The Cooling Expert, Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee, Masarap, Mabango at Healthy Pa, Cadrid Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, color for protection for your home. Matimco. Matimco is wood. Wood is Matimco. Our Square Variables Incorporated, your trusted UPS supplier and UPS maintenance provider in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. CompuZell Computer Services, ID card and lanyard manufacturer. DN Steel. EMAC, UPVC Roof Corporation.
You are watching the EBC International coverage of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, North America edition. I am Eliza Gonzalez-Manlekmott in Washington, D.C. In the midst of hardships, it's difficult to see sometimes the opportunities of growth. But if we look back on our experiences, most of us will find that it is through our hardest trials that we achieve our greatest hopes. Today, we meet Aki Velarde Tanda, a young athlete in Sunnyvale, California, whose parents say gymnastics taught her life lessons like perseverance, courage, discipline, and patience. Big words for a 9-year-old, you might say, but wait till you meet this little girl and believe her when she says the road to perfection does not stop at the gym. Take a look.
Aki means autumn in Japanese and is the name given to this sweet-faced 9-year-old. Her father, of Japanese descent, and her mother, of Filipino descent, like most parents, wanted to give Aki a special life. Scrolling through family photos, it's clear that Aki has had many exciting experiences to look back on with her family. One might even assume she's led an average happy American life thus far. But Aki is not your typical fourth grader, and her life has not been without hardship. Aki is an athlete, a gymnast. She started recreational gymnastics at 5 years old and was quickly picked up by a developmental team. At 7 years old, she started competing, racking up 21 gold medals, 8 silvers, 3 bronzes, and even the state championship. A current USA Gymnastics Junior Olympics Level 5 gymnast, Aki credits her success to the 15 to 17 hours a week she spent on training. But her physical training doesn't really tell the whole story behind Aki's success. In July of 2019, Aki fell off the beam while training for a Level 4 competition. The freak accident caused an injury that would not only take her out of the competition, but also put a halt to her level of training until bones could be mended and physical training could prove she was ready to get back to full training mode. Her parents said it was a hard time for Aki, but a golden opportunity for her to think about the role she wanted gymnastics to play in her life. They also admit it was a hard way for her to learn life lessons in perseverance, courage, discipline, and patience. In her first competition after the accident, Aki fell off the beam and went home with no medals. That alone might have broken the spirit of many young athletes, but not Aki. As soon as she was cleared to train on all apparatus, Aki put her heart, mind, and body back into training for a sport she simply was not willing to give up. In January of this year, she competed off-season in a meet where she won 4 golds, including 1 for the beam, and a silver on the floor. If you ask Aki why gymnastics, she'll tell you she enjoys learning new skills and routines. She'll also tell you she loves it, that gymnastics is fun, and it has taught her that she cannot be perfect all the time. So maybe that's the takeaway we should all get from Aki's journey to help us mitigate the COVID-19 pandemic. There will be hardship, pain, and sadness, but if we face each situation with courage, discipline, and hard work, we will be able to rise again. Even as I write my thoughts down, I'm pretty sure Aki is at home in Silicon Valley, working out, perfecting skills, and preparing for the days when stay-at-home orders are lifted and most of life as we knew it can start getting back to normal. Sunnyvale, California, Lisa Ducena, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thank you, Lisa. With us tonight is Aki Velarde Tanda. Thank you for joining us, Aki.
Hello.
Hello. Aki, share with us, how is the shelter-at-home order affecting you?
It is affecting me because I'm used to going to gym and school all the time, but now because of this shelter in place, I can't really go out anymore, and I have to do the best I can of what I usually do outside of home, inside of home.
Thank you. I meant to say shelter in place because I get it mixed up with stay at home, safer at home. Now, Aki, now that you're not too busy anymore, tell us about your daily routine now that you have to stay home all the time.
My usual routine is I usually wake up at 8 to 9, but this week is spring week for me, so I wake up a little later at 10, and I eat breakfast. And then I go to, I usually do my assignments that my teacher gave me for school. And then after all that, I eat my lunch. And then whichever I am available, I usually do Zoom gymnastics or Zoom for school.
Okay.
And then after that, I do if they're available, I do video chat with my friends.
Okay.
And then after that, I take a little snack and I do conditioning. And then I eat dinner after the conditioning. And then I go to bed.
Just listening to your routine, it made me tired already. Before we go to your distance learning situation right now, Aki, I heard you have guidelines. Every afternoon you take walks with your dad, but there's guidelines. Can you share them with us?
Yes. So I usually take walks with my dad at this park. But whenever there's people near us, we go as far away as possible.
Do you wear masks now there too?
No.
No, not when you're just walking with your dad. Okay, Aki, I know you love reading, and I know now you have more time for that. What are your favorite books, and what are you currently reading?
My favorite book, I finished the series, but my favorite book is Harry Potter. And I recently went to Universal Studios with my friend to check out the Harry Potter place. And the book I am currently reading, I don't read it all the time, but the book I'm currently reading is Eldest, and another one is Beyond the Bright Side.
Well, I'm pretty sure you miss going out of town during spring break. Right now, you're spring week, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so after spring week, you go back to distance learning. How is it working for you, having to attend school from your living room?
So usually, like I said earlier, I go, I do a Zoom with them. And I usually do they usually do something that's called morning meeting that we do during school. And we do something similar to that, like read a quote and do some, like, I feel like a 10, like, because how you feel that day. And yeah.
Okay, before COVID-19, before the pandemic, Aki, your schedule was filled from sunup to sundown. Well, it is still now that you're home, but most of the time you were at the gym training. How do you feel now that you cannot train like you used to?
I feel a bit sad because I can't really go to, gym and my school to meet my friends and train what I usually train.
But, okay, you also mentioned earlier that you video chat with your friends when you miss them, correct? Aside from that, when you're not video chatting with your friends, what else do you do at home that makes you feel good about this break away from everything situation?
I think it's fun. Another upside is I get to spend more time with my family because I used to have to go in and out of the house because of my
And what do you do when you spend time with mom and dad?
We usually play games and watch movies together.
Okay, Aki, I have a question for you. You're an achiever, a perfectionist, some may say. Your room is decorated with medals that you've won in your competitions. Explain to me what gymnastics have taught you when at times you make mistakes and don't win in competitions.
Yeah, for example, one of the meets I went to was a princess, and I fell on the beam. I wasn't very happy after that because I was thinking mostly about the positives, about how I was probably going to get a high score or I wasn't going to fall off the beam. And it learned me that I can't be perfect all the time and you have to work really hard to achieve your dreams.
Yeah, that's a good lesson to learn, Aki. Now, Aki, you understand that the pandemic right now is making a lot of people sick, correct? And sometimes these people, they don't make it. How does that make you feel?
I always at night before I go to bed, I pray like for my family and friends. I hope they stay safe. And we also pray for the people who have COVID-19. And we also hope that the doctors and all the frontliners, they find a vaccine very soon.
Okay, Aki, you were injured before, like you mentioned, and because of that injury, you had to stop for several months so you get better. How do you compare your injury to what's happening around the world right now, that it has to stop too for a little while?
It's kind of similar because I had to stay at home. I can't really go to gym. The upside is that I don't have a cast right now, like when I did have a cast when I was injured, so I can actually work out in the house of what we can do here.
Okay, now that you said that you get to work out or do your routines at home, why don't you give us a treat? Show us some of your favorite routines.
Okay, I'll show you 3 of them.
Okay, let's look. Let's take a look. We can switch to the skills camera so we can see. There you go. All right. Wow. Okay. That's a flip, I think. You know, she's lifting the mat. And, oh, I'm afraid. Here we go. All right. So those of you who have no training, don't try this at home. She's light as a feather. That's routine number 2. Or that's exercise number 2, or workout number 2. All right, and the 3rd. Good job, Aki, good job. Let me see, is there a 3rd one? That's it. Okay, Aki, could you unmute your screen for us? There you go. What was that called? What was those moves called?
So the first one was an aerial. It's kind of like a cartwheel, except you missed your hands. The second one I did was a back handspring step out, which is a kind of like a back handspring, and then you step to lunge. And then the last one was press handstands.
Well, thank you, Aki. Good job, and do good in your distance learning after your spring week, and take care when you work on your routines at home.
Thank you.
Thank you. A few reminders before we end today. Wash your hands often with soap and water. Cover your mouth and nose if sneezing or coughing. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Avoid contact with sick people. If you are sick, stay home and call your healthcare provider. Practice social distancing. Keep distance between yourself and others, and avoid crowds. And wear a protective face covering when out in public. We stand together with kindness and support for each other to build stronger communities. Let's continue to thank our frontline and essential workers with a round of applause. Appreciate all of you. And that is today's EBC International coverage of the Coronavirus Pandemic North America edition. Thank you for joining us. I am Eliza Gonzalez, Man of Thought. We live in interesting times.